Welcome to the Mico University College Annual Scholarship Awards Ceremony. Join us as we celebrate excellence. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mico University College's Annual Scholarship Awards Ceremony. I am Sharon Bogues-Wolf, Director of Alumni and Development. We now invite Mr. Chavoy Lyons, President of the Guild of Students, to start off with prayer.
Most righteous and eternal Father, as we come before you today, dear Lord, I ask that you guide each and every one of us, dear Heavenly Father. Guide the recipients, dear Lord. Lord, guide this evening's proceedings, dear Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, we say that you are the omnipotent and omnipresent, dear Heavenly Father. Help us to know you better, dear Lord. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
We will now have the welcome and opening remarks by our President, Dr. Asburn Pinnock.
Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Ryland Campbell, members of the Board of Directors, members of the Senior Management Team, our guest speaker, Dr. Sanjay Johnson Anderson, one of our 185th commemorative awardees, our donors, all levels of staff, students, and last but not least, our recipients of the scholarships offered by corporate and alumni donors. Welcome all. This year continued to be a challenging one for our country and the Mico University College. As we face the COVID-19 pandemic, we continued our pivot to use this crisis as an opportunity to strengthen our teaching and learning capacity. We are determined that none of our students be left behind, and so the financial allowances that began in March 2021 has continued. We took the decision that tuition fees not be increased and plan for ease of payment continue. We note, however, that some students continue to face difficulties. Our scholarship program, therefore, at the college is structured to ease the financial burden of our students. This year, we have over 50 recipients who received approximately $6 million in assistance. These funds were donated by both corporate and alumni. We are grateful to each and everyone who continues to support our students' academic journey at this time. To our students, I ask that you reflect on the lessons learned during this pandemic. Soaring current notes that life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. To achieve our goals in these challenging times, you must take action, as the future depends on what you do today. So, embrace the future, because it is full of possibilities and it is yours to create. As we look to the future, we must embrace the lessons of 2020-2021, and they must become a source of growth and opportunity. H. Jackson Brown Jr. said, "Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity." The Mico University College celebrates its 185th year in this calendar year. We have achieved that significant milestone of being granted institutional accreditation by the University Council of Jamaica as a university college. That was achieved by remaining relevant, streamlining our processes, and revising our strategic plans to look towards the future while remaining committed to our core values. I believe that challenges and difficulties can bring out the best in all of us. It encourages us to be resilient, to be empathetic, to be grateful, and to stay hopeful in the face of adversities. To our students and recipients, you come from a line of distinguished alumni who have survived various obstacles, so I know you can do so too. You stand on the shoulders of giants. To our donors, including the 146 batch who just donated $1.2 million to 12 students, we are grateful for your partnership and look forward to strengthening our relationship. Welcome to our visitors and friends as you join us to celebrate excellence with our might. Have a wonderful evening. Welcome. Thank you.
I now invite Ms. Kiona Phipps, recipient of the Batch 143 Scholarship, to introduce our guest speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keone Phipps, and I am a primary educator and a proud recipient of the Batch 143 Scholarship. Today, it is my honor to introduce one of our speakers, Dr. Sonji Johnson Anderson. Scholar, poet, author, ethnographer, activist, and social justice educator. Dr. Sonji Johnson Anderson's work and research have focused on STEM and social justice education, as well as on performance ethnography and parents as advocates for students with special needs. A 2010 Teaching Award recipient, Dr. Johnson Anderson has worked in New York City as a teacher in the public school system in mentoring and youth advocacy with FIUS 11, now Good Shepherd Services, Inc., and the New York City Department of Education, and as an executive director of the Youth Action Coalition of Amherst, Massachusetts. She earned her PhD at the University of Massachusetts College of Education with the focus of critical pedagogy and urban education. A proud native of Jamaica, an alumni of the Mico University College and the University of the West Indies, Dr. Johnson Anderson has served in STEM education and UMass Amherst and lectured since 2014 at Westfield State University. She currently serves as a researcher with 7th Generation Movement Collective, an Amherst-based social justice consultancy, and is the Director of Educational Programs with U.S. South Africa-based Crossing the Waters Institute for Cultural Exchange. Dr. Johnson Anderson was most recently selected as one of the Mico University College 185th commemorative awardees.
Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Ryland Campbell, the Board of Directors, President and friend Dr. Asburn Pinnock, Vice Presidents Dr. Albert Benjamin and Mr. Rudolph Sewell, Deans, faculty and staff, donors, members of Corporate Jamaica, and alumni through the Office of Alumni Affairs, award recipients, students. I am particularly honored to have been asked to address you on this very special occasion, in particular for our scholarship awardees. Also, and not insignificantly, because I am a proud Miconian, and being a Miconian is an identity one carries with great pride throughout one's lifetime. Today, I want us to think together about what it means to celebrate, or rather contemplate, excellence. Dr. Maya Angelou says, "We didn't get here, neither will we move from here by ourselves." So I will tell you a little story. She was a Jamaican immigrant living in New York. She was helping to care for her younger brother who had fallen ill, and his son who had recently arrived in the city and was enrolled in public school. The boy at 16 was already a handful. I knew because he was my student. She worked as a home health aide, a deeply intelligent woman who was not given the opportunity of a college education in her native Jamaica, but who had dreamed, nevertheless, of one day obtaining a college degree. She would be the first in her family to do so. She was fulfilling that promise to herself. It was a promise that would help her nephew to steer clear of the path he seemed intent upon following. So, at the tender age of 75, yes, you heard me right, 75, she was enrolled in one of the CUNY, which is City University of New York, campuses, working towards a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and sciences. She is my example of excellence. So congratulations to our scholarship recipients who are privileged to have been selected for this honor and opportunity. Yours is an especial advantage as you may now look to the future with more hope made possible by your esteemed leaders and instructors at the Mico and your scholarship sponsors, inclusive of Corporate Jamaica and the Office of Alumni Affairs. To them, I say thank you on your behalf. Being a scholar suggests you embrace a life of the mind. You seek out all opportunities to learn and grow as life progresses. Your scholarship sponsors are doing the wise and progressive thing. By thusly awarding you, they are paying it forward. They are setting an example by affording you the opportunity to move forward with your education and your career as educators, not just so that you may advance your lives for the sake of yourselves and those closest to you, but for the sake of your community, your country, and your world. Thus, more than investing in you, your sponsors are making an investment in Jamaica and the future. Get it out of your heads that your accomplishments and achievements are yours alone. They are not. The Mico is educating you that you may educate others, that you may help to create citizens who are engaged and aware, citizens who are sensitized to the challenges we face as a people, a country, and a region, and who will be motivated, courageous, and passionate about seeing Jamaica and the Caribbean fulfilling their vast potential. As such, you must never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop striving for the good and the right. I challenge you to do this against the harsh backdrop of a world that has fallen prey to social media disinformation campaigns, racial, ethnic, and political vitriol and division, extreme materialism, social and financial inequality, corruption and injustice of diverse kinds, greed, and personality worship. Because of all this, we could fail to see the humanity in others while denying it in ourselves. This scholarship opportunity you celebrate today has come so you may realize who you are as you journey to discover yourselves. It was at the Mico that I was taught to understand the difference between being knowledgeable and being educated. You are here as students pursuing, as it were, knowledge to become teachers, but it is your education that will determine how you go about this. Your education is what will transform you from the student you are today to the person and professional you will become tomorrow. Your education is the change agent that will determine the lens through which you see the world and how you will determine to move through it. Thus, education will not just be what you do to make a living, but will make you into who you are as you live. Today, your families and sponsors and instructors, the whole institution of the Mico celebrates you. We are proud of your accomplishments, awed by your gifts and talents, and respectful of your hard work and the journey it took to get you here. And in as much as we are happy for your achievements, you are reminded that the journey is not over. Indeed, in many respects, it is merely beginning. Remember, the challenge to achieve excellence is always dwarfed by the challenge to maintain it. So you must continue to hold yourselves to this high standard. Do all you do to the very best of your ability every day till excellence becomes your lifestyle. Be excellent in the ways you care for others, especially those with less power than yourselves. Be excellent in the way you do scholarship, that you are always attuned to learning life's hardest and most profound lessons. Be excellent in the way you care for and respect yourselves, for the way you carry yourselves Comport yourselves, treat yourselves, teach others how to treat and regard you. As a little girl of about 4 years old, I knew I wanted to become a teacher because I was captivated by the dignity and the authority of my teachers in the classroom and the dignity and the authority they exuded outside it. I was inspired to become a teacher by observing teachers like my own mother, a proud Miconian herself, who led and mentored and inspired out in the wider community just as much as she did inside the confines of the school. Get it? You make others to discover themselves by being the best of you that you can be. In other words, you are called to embrace the noblest of vocations, that of shaping minds, intellects, and lives. May you be excellent at reverencing this awesome, if fragile, task. May you be excellent at helping our children and young people to love, respect, and accept themselves and others, for that will be as much your job as preparing them to succeed at their studies. The excellence we celebrate with you today must be evident in the brand of educational experience you deliver to your students. It will require huge amounts of courage, determination, and stick-to-itiveness. We are not naive to the almost insurmountable challenges teachers face and endure every day. You know this, yet you are preparing to join your colleagues in this tremendous project. Instinctively, you know that teaching is a political act. It is a radical act, but most of all, it is a loving act. So we salute you for many reasons. I therefore entreat you to find yourselves as you determine your pedagogical approach. Know who you are as you are trained to deliver data-driven instruction. See your students as the precious human beings they are while you research their learning experiences and yours. Your family, community, nation, and world need you. Mark carefully the words spoken to you today and receive them as your charge as you move beyond the ceremony. You are teachers. That means you are leaders. That means you are mentors. That means you are educators and inspirers. Do not take this lightly. Those who believe in you and who believe in our future as a nation support you. So much so, they are fronting precious dollars and other resources to help you to realize your dream. Only it isn't just your dream. It is the dream of our people, many of whom gave their lives and sacrificed in one way or another so you could sit in the very seat you now occupy. You represent the best of our ancestors. Honor them with your practice of truth and excellence. Honor those yet to come with your acts of courage and love. And honor those here today by being fully present and alive to the world and the people around you. Just remember what was said at the beginning. You didn't get here, neither will you move from here by yourselves. And as your big sister in diaspora, to those of you at home, we need you. And we need each other. And we need the watchful protection of the Almighty, whose presence we invoke. May you discover your most powerful selves as you submit to the optimally rounded education your scholarship sponsors, educational institution, community, and the nation are providing you. I wish you all the very best. We love you. We are proud of you. Congratulations and walk good.
Thank you, Dr. Sonji Johnson Anderson. And she was a recent recipient of our 185th Commemorative Award. What a way to go. I now invite Mrs. Nadine Logan Ashley, HOD for the Language Department and Chairman of the Scholarship Committee, to give her overview of the scholarship process.
Madam Chairperson and Director of the Alumni and Development, Mrs. Sharon Wolfe, President of the Mico University College, Dr. Osborne Pinnock, scholarship donors, guest speaker, Dr. Sanjay Johnson Anderson, President of the Guild, Mr. Shavoy Lyons, members of the Scholarship Committee, or scholarship recipients, member of the Mico community, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The 2021 Scholarship Committee comprised Mrs. Sharon Wolfe, Dr. Carol Long, Mrs. Melanie Leach, Dr. Karen Matthews, Mr. David Butler, and I'm also a member of the team. At the start of the academic year, we embarked on a journey of continued service to the Mico community. Our experience proved to be beneficial to us in so many ways, despite the long hours and sometimes arduous tasks. At the end of the interview period, we were all changed beings, thanks to the many life lessons we were able to vicariously experience through our moments with different candidates from varied contexts. We now view service to others and life in a more purpose-filled way. To determine the best candidates, an assessment tool with 6 categories was utilized. These 6 categories required candidates to display academic excellence by achieving a GPA of 3.0 and up, demonstrate financial need, participate in extracurricular activities or voluntary services, display leadership skills and leadership potential, exhibit effective communication skills, and show commitment to teaching. Our candidates opened their hearts and poured out their souls as they tried to demonstrate why they should receive the coveted scholarships. This year, the experience evoked even more emotions for us as panelists because of the myriad of stories we were told of how students found ways to cope during the COVID-19 pandemic and how they were able to manage another year of forced virtual classes. Our candidates, like many Jamaicans, faced major challenges, including the loss of loved ones. In some instances, these loved ones were the main or only breadwinner, and loss of steady incomes, as parents or main supporters lost their jobs. Although these challenges would have daunted many, the candidates with whom we interfaced were determined to rise above it all and to excel. So they worked harder and travailed through the depths of disappointments. Ladies and gentlemen, we learned not only about our students' needs, and there are many, but we also observed their tenacity and formidable drive to not only achieve their goals, but to be able to give back to their families, the Mico, and the wider community, in spite of all they faced. I will share a few moments from our recipients. Recipient 1. Both my parents have passed. I am the youngest child, but will be the first to complete tertiary education in the family. This is my second attempt at completing studies here at the Mico, but I am determined to complete this time. Recipient 2. Although it is difficult, and at times I too feel overwhelmed, I try to motivate and serve others. I have initiated an online platform where students can share their academic challenges and receive assistance. I have also developed study timetable for my year group. Our candidates demonstrated selflessness. Recently, I had a conversation with a past scholarship recipient, and I asked if she had applied for scholarships this year. She said, "No, miss, I won't." I asked if she had completed the program of study, since I was aware of her financial struggles. She smiled and said, "Not yet, miss. This is my final year." but I went on one of the work and travel programs, so I earned enough to pay my tuition. I am therefore allowing another needy student to get the opportunity to benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, I became teary-eyed. In a world where individualism is pushed, I witnessed a young Miconian exhibiting the core values of the Mico and displaying selflessness. I am proud of such an impact. Are you? To the donors who have made all this possible, we thank you. You continue to serve the Mico and the nation despite the various challenges faced by all of us during the COVID-19 pandemic. We endeavor to encourage our students to excel and serve. Our students' understanding of volunteerism continues to be something of great practical value to them because of your demonstrated efforts of service. Thank you. We encourage you to share the good news with others so they too may come on board as we build our nation through teacher education. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you on behalf of the Scholarship Committee. We look forward to even stronger connections in the future. In true Mico spirit, let us continue to do it with thy might as we celebrate our 185th anniversary. May your hearts remain open. I close with an important word of advice from Maya Angelou. If you get, give. If you learn, teach. Let us continue to educate our youth and inspire them to pay it forward. God bless you and God bless Jamaica.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, friends, and scholarship recipients, I will now call the names of all the scholarship recipients and the scholarship that they have been awarded. Arthur Grant Scholarship, Amoy Farquharson. Batch of 143 Scholarship, Kiona Phipps. Carlton Campbell Bursary, Roxanne Dwyer. Clarice May Gore Scholarship, Shauna K. Morgan. James Lee Gore Memorial Scholarship, Javon Codlin. Denton P. Tuller Bursary, Kamoy King, Renee Robinson. Earl B. Kennedy Scholarship, Leanne McQueen. Hugh Dawes Bursary, Letitia Harriet McLeod. Chemtech Development and Construction, Dacia Hamilton. Olivia Wind. Princess McFarlane, Brianna Mariah. Batch of 1973 Scholarship, Cleon Bell, Dejae Williams, Joshua Brown, Paula Ann Raffington, Shanika Collins, Najib Michael, Brianna Franklin. The Desmond Gascoigne Scholarship and Bursary, Abigail Buchall Bursary, Khalees Ann Porter Scholarship. Batch of 1963, Jamelia Lovelace, Brittany Corby, Oshia Cousins, Latoya McFarlane, Allison Sterling. The Norma Lee Ellis Wright Book Grant, Perrin Dawkins. Ren and Mervis Johnson Student Bursary, Malik Jackson and Kimberly Wright. Dalton Lloyd Foster Memorial Scholarship, Julianne Fisher, Kemisha Wilson, Shaniel Williams. Mosa Ontario Chapter Scholarship, Javon Wine, Richard Smith, Matthew Reed, Trevane Bogle, Owen Allen, Chavoy Gillard, Esmoil Smith. Sagicor Foundation, Kristen Elliott, Imani Luther, Tevin Gibbons, Marissa Brown, Mikhail Clark, Teresa Ferriman. The St. Anne Justice of the Peace Scholarship, Daniel McCorkle. Congratulations to all the recipients. The Mico University College Foundation of America will be also one of the groups supporting the scholarship effort. Congratulations to all our recipients. I do know that during this pandemic, it has not been easy, but you have stayed the course and you have emerged whole. And so, again, congratulations. I also want to take the opportunity to big up, as we would say, Mr. David Butler, the newest member of our team, Dr. Karen Matthews, who she never leaves us out, Dr. Carol Long, who filled in and she was amazing. And of course, we want to mention the Dalton Lloyd Foster Memorial Scholarship, which is a new scholarship from the batch of 1963. I now invite Mr. Javon Codlin, the James Lee Gore Scholarship recipient, and Miss Leanne McQueen, the Earl B. Kennedy Scholarship recipient, to share with us what receiving these scholarships mean to them.
Good afternoon. My name is Javon Codlin, and I am the recipient of the James Lee Gore Memorial Scholarship. And what this scholarship means to me, it basically means the world to me. I am truly grateful and appreciate of Mico alumni of organizing this scholarship over the years. And who knows which direction I would have headed to if I didn't receive the scholarship, because to be frank with you guys, there is no other alternative in regards to receiving a scholarship to pay my tuition. I was on the brink, I was nervous, I was not concentrating on my studies due to the fact that in the mind I was thinking about where am I going to get to pay my tuition. I was just praying every night, trusting God and have faith. One day I came up by the institution here, and a member of my department told me that I could check by alumni to check myself if there is any scholarship available. So I'm telling you guys a story. So when I went to myself, it was the date was closed, and I was kind of pleading, and she said, okay, it passed Friday already, and I think I was there on the Tuesday, and she said, do the paperwork and get the documents and send it to you. And I'm truly grateful, 110%, and I give thanks to you all for organizing this. Thank you all.
A pleasant afternoon to all. My name is Miss Leanne McQueen, and I am honored to be the recipient of the Earl B. Kennedy Scholarship for the academic year 2021 to 2022. Standing before you is a final year student here at the Mico University College. I am 30 years old, and I'm also a single mother. On the 3rd of September 2018, I made one promise to myself: do not fail any courses. In hindsight, failing a course meant, of course, having to do a resit, and having to do that resit meant having to find the money, and I knew that I could not afford that. Making that promise, however, meant making a commitment to excellence and ensuring that I gave my best at all times, regardless of how hard it may have felt in that moment. I am guided by the philosophy of Plato, which encourages us to never discourage anyone from making continuous progress, no matter how slow. So, what does this scholarship mean to me? Being provided with the opportunity to finally complete my tertiary level education after so many years of trying is quite an overwhelming feeling. I will definitely make a difference, not only in my classroom, but in the world at large. To the Kennedy family, Thank you for providing opportunities for students like myself who applied to the Mico University College in faith, not knowing how we will get through the years, but trusting in God to make a way. Thank you.
You know, student stories are an important part of the scholarship process. We are so moved by their tenacity, their resilience, and all the recipients have been through all of those challenges, and again, they have come out on top. We invite Dr. Luxley Rodney, chair of the Batch of 1963 Scholarship Committee, to share with us a testimonial from his group. Dr. Rodney.
Hello, Michael. Greetings from Luxley Rodney. I'm speaking to you from Houston, Texas. And on behalf of the 1963 batch, I'd like to congratulate all students of the Mico who are receiving financial support today in the form of scholarships, bursaries, and so on. The 1963 batch, of course, graduated in 1963, and we have been around since some 58 years. We were the first batch to graduate in an independent Jamaica. We had our first reunion in 2013 in Jamaica, of course. We met, and of course, many of us did not know each other. So you students, do not wait until 50 years for you to meet, continue meeting and having fun. Well, after we met in 2013, we started to focus not only on socializing, but on raising funds to help students to support their education. We were fortunate at the time we attended that we didn't have to pay to attend Mico. We had free tuition, board. We even had free laundry. We had 5 meals per day, all free. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. We had in between what is called a pug and tea. So we had a good time. But we are now aware of the fact that it's pretty expensive to go to college. So we have been raising funds every year to send down to Mico. And since 2013, we have raised funds to support some 40 scholarships and bursaries. We have a planning team of a batch that would meet regularly once every month, first Wednesday. And this year, we met on the 10th of March and agreed to raise funds again. Among our planning group was our dear friend, Dalton Lloyd Foster. Unfortunately, within 6 days after we met and voted to raise funds, he passed away in Maryland, in the United States. Among the shock and grief, the batch decided that we would honor him, honor his memory, his educational contribution in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, and the United States, where he was an extraordinary teacher of English. So we decided that we would designate one of the bursaries as the Dalton Lloyd Foster Memorial Bursary. We contacted his family and they agreed with us to do this. Not only did they agree, they made a substantial contribution to our fundraising. And today, I'm pleased to announce that in partnership with the Foster family, the 1963 batch is awarding 3 bursaries designated as the Dalton Lloyd Memorial Bursaries. And in closing, let me introduce to you the names of the surviving foster family. Close-knit family, a wonderful family, starting with Lil Veer, his wife, is now a widow. Lil Veer is a retired teacher and a Shortwoodite. First son is Dalton Lloyd Foster, but Lil Veer did give him an extra name, Andrew, so we could all call him Andy. We don't call him Junior. Next, we have Denise, the first daughter, second child. Then there's Brian and Kerry. Kerry is the youngest child, who is a professor in the law school at Howard University. This is a wonderful family, and we'd like to congratulate them for perpetuating their patriarch, Dalton. And we wish them Godspeed and God's strength as they try to move forward from their terrible loss. Thank you very much.
One of the important things about scholarships is that it is not just confined to alumni or even corporate donors. We also have family of former Miconians, and we believe that Dr. Karen Kennedy, daughter of distinguished alumni Earl B. Kennedy, will now give the donor reflection and response. Dr. Kennedy.
Good afternoon, Mico administrators and students. My name is Dr. Karen Kennedy, daughter of a past Mico student named Earl B. Kennedy, and I'm honored to have been asked by your illustrious Alumni Office Director, Sharon Wolf, to share about why I and my family give. First, let me give a hearty congratulations to the Mico for lasting 185 years, and to this year's deserving and hardworking awardees for making it through your studies to this point. Mico is an institution of excellence, and we trust that these scholarships allow you students to release some of the focus from school finances and direct the focus to honing your craft and pursuing that Mico excellence that we've all come to know and love. My very learned, beloved father, Earl B. Kennedy, was class president for all years of his training to be a teacher for very young children, and was of the same batch as your past president, Dr. Claude Packer, if that tells you anything about the caliber of that year's students. Some of the best memories I have growing up was in going to Mico Old Student Association trips and charity events in New York, as we were born in Brooklyn, New York, my brother and I. I attended a few meetings and learned of the school's needs and activities through them as well. The New York Mico Old Students Association was strong, dedicated, and in full effect, all for the cause of raising money for the Mico College. My beautiful mother, Melva Kennedy, was also dedicated and serving in that she was a gifted social worker and caseworker. She also supported the work Dad did with Mico Old Students Association. Our gracious and supportive neighbors, namely Mr. and Mrs. Rennis and Mervis Johnson, were also always involved in Mico Old Student Association activities and have served as cheerful donors to needy students for decades. So, as you can see, although my brother and I didn't attend your university, we learned from an early age the importance of giving back, be it to a school, a church, or the community. Presently, as a medical doctor and a regional medical director in primary care, giving back continues in my professional as well as personal life. After Dad's untimely passing 5 years ago, my family wished to honor him and his love of teaching and his dedication to his third child, as we affectionately call them, Mico, by starting an annual full scholarship for a student at your institution. We soon joined another group of similarly dedicated individuals who just started up the US-based Mico University Foundation of America, also called MUCFA, headed by the Batch of 62. There are other MUCFA donors with eponymous scholarships and others who support regardless of having a name, as they just want to give. We very much appreciate the support and board membership of your president, Dr. Asburn Pinnock, and other administrators at the Mico as well. MUCFA's mission is to contribute significantly, directly, and in perpetuity to the long-term financial and general viability of the Mico University College. And our primary focus is fundraising for the Mico University College. We strongly encourage each past student to give back, even if it's just to cover books or computers, as every mickle makes a muckle, right? There's even one student of ours, Claudia Campbell, who graduated under our Earl B. Kennedy Scholarship, who started giving back herself this year. Cheers to her, and to all of you for considering such a worthy act as giving back. God bless. Congratulations again to the scholarship awardees, and continue to do well in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kennedy. Your father's input and his passion and love for the Mico has constantly amazed us. We thank you and your family. Mr. Joshua Brown, who's the recipient again of Batch 1973 Scholarship, will give the students' response. Mr. Brown.
I am Joshua Brown, recipient of the Batch of 1973 Scholarship. And I can happily say on behalf of all my colleagues that an opportunity is a chance at being something else. An opportunity is a gateway to ultimate freedom. An opportunity is a gift given to further yourself. But do we use it wisely? Do we understand its worth? Do we truly know when we have been given an opportunity? My friends, this opportunity has been given to us, and gratitude is finite. On behalf of all the scholarship awardees, I take this opportunity to thank the Mico University College through the Office of Alumni and Development for providing us, another generation of teaching scholars, an opportunity to further our studies, especially without the burden of financial issues. Having received these gifts, we pledge on our honor to uphold the standards of the Mico University College and to do it with our might. Once more, thank you, and in all things, God be praised.
As we conclude our program this afternoon, it has been a wonderful experience. We want you to think of giving back to the college in whatever way that you can. We want you to know that the college is grateful for your donations, and we want you also to know that we could not have done this without you. We are in your debt as we move forward to ensure that our students are able to continue their academic journey here at the college. I invite the information officer, Mrs. Bobby Brown, to move the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. It's an honor to have been asked to offer the vote of thanks on the occasion of the Mico's annual Scholarship Awards ceremony. On behalf of the alumni team, I share a very hearty gratitude to all our donors. Your generosity, especially in a time as now, has moved mountains. Because of you, over 40 students have been granted the opportunity to continue their education. Thank you. I want to extend my generous thanks to the members of the Scholarship Committee and members who were asked to come on a little later and graciously accepted. Sometimes the interviews were over 3 hours long, but it was done with a gladsome approach. One committee member once said, "All our students deserve a fair chance," and I could not agree more. Dr. Sonji Johnson Anderson, thank you. I am positive that we were all inspired by your highly sparkling words. You truly represent what it means to be a Miconian. And to all our participants of this afternoon's program, you were instrumental in helping us to celebrate excellence. It has been our pleasure to host all the participants and audience of this ceremony. I must say a special thank you to Mrs. Sharon Wolf and Mr. Christian Hunter, always working tirelessly behind the scene to ensure this entire scholarship process is seamless. It is a privilege to work alongside you both. It is not possible to thank everyone for such an appreciating involvement and the willingness they have expressed to finish the task. However, I will close by saying the work is far from complete. Our education sector needs us now more than ever. Let us all continue to do whatever it is that we do with our might. Good afternoon.
Again, thank you all for coming, and I hope this experience will stay with you for a long time. I know that our recipients are grateful. I received letters from them, and they are absolutely over the moon with what has happened to them. And I also encourage other students to apply. And if you're not successful this year, apply next year. And in the 146 batch scholarship that is coming up, I'm encouraging our male students to apply for those that assistance. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.